What's going on, all you wild crime enthusiasts? Your two favorite critics are back here. Logan Myers, my good mate over there.
Detective Colin Zabel.
Oh, is that you, Evan Peters?
I wish. He's dreamy.
We're back at it again. We've been pretty busy this week shooting a lot of videos. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the brand new limited series that just hit HBO Max. And we're talking about Kate Winslet and Mare of Easttown. And I feel like I need a Rolling Rock to kick this off right here.
Yeah, let's grab a six-pack of Rolling Rock and kick it off and talk about Kate Winslet's newest, brand new limited series on HBO Max. This series was one of those series that, you know, your friends and people that you know are talking about, and you kind of hear around the water cooler, so to speak, at work or through your friends. That kind of gains traction. Like, I remember hearing the name a couple of weeks back, maybe a month ago, somebody talking about it, and I was like, what's this? You know, what can this be all about? At first I thought they were saying mayor, like she was like the town mayor.
That's
so
what I
figured it
thought
was
too.
like yeah. So, you know, eventually you hear enough about it and it picks up steam, and a couple of the other fellas here recommended it. So we decided to go ahead and dig into this series, and man, I'm glad I did. Just phenomenal across the board.
It's one of those shows you start watching, you can't stop watching it. You know, you get really invested in the story and the characters, and that's how I felt about the show. Watching it in a few days, but yeah, like you were saying, there's been a big buzz around the show. Everybody's talking about it. A few of my friends were talking about it online, so had to check it out and had a really great time with it. And very depressing, but a really great story, really great characters, and we see some closure in the show.
Absolutely. This show, very intricate, dealing not only with a murder mystery and a story revolving around some missing girls around town, which Mare obviously playing the detective. She's I believe, a sergeant detective in the town of Easttown. And she's been on a case for going on a year here of a missing girl, and she hasn't been able to locate the girl. The girl's still missing. There's some bad things happening in this town in Philadelphia where it takes place. And not only is she dealing with her, you know, life with being a detective and trying to solve these cases, but she's also dealing with a ton of personal trauma from her life, having had a son who committed suicide and had, you know, was delving into drugs, also being divorced, and then dealing with the aftermath of her son's suicide with son's child, who she's been taking care of.
Both huge into drugs, and they kind of got custody of the young kid. And you know, with her dealing with work and all these like really crazy cases, actually two cases in the show of missing girls and this murder essentially. So she's dealing with all that on top of everything she's going through in her personal life. So you really feel for Kate Winslet's character, Mare.
She wears all these emotions so well. She you know, you can tell just by watching the show, just by seeing it in her eyes, like how much everything's weighing on her. She doesn't necessarily talk about it openly too much, but we do get, you know, conversations with different people talking about it, and you can tell that she's really closed off about the things that have happened. She's trying to push forward through all these difficulties she's come across in her life, and, you know, really try to do some good work here, being a detective and solve these cases, because she thinks that, you know, not only will she solve the case, but that's going to help her to like deal with the things that are going on in her life. So in the first episode, we're obviously introduced everybody to Mare, to some other characters in the town, and we're following this teenage girl who has a young son. We meet several people associated with her. This other kid that is the father, supposedly, for what we know, is the father of DJ, the son. And we see this young girl, and she, you know, she gets bullied around town. She's known as being kind of the promiscuous kid around town, so she gets a lot of crap at school. People don't respect her. They don't like her. They see her as kind of trashy. So she's dealing with that throughout the episode. And this first episode is basically following her and what ends up happening to her one night, alone in the woods.
Yeah, it's something happening in the woods to this young girl named Erin, and it really sets up the rest of the season. And this is a who done it sort of story, trying to figure out who the killer is, who killed this young girl named Erin. So each episode, you're really getting introduced to different characters, like a priest in the town, and you know, like neighbors and kids, like teenagers. So you're not really sure like who actually killed Erin. You think it's one person, but there's so many twists and turns along the way, and it's really, ironed out, really well done. I loved how they did that. And one of the best probably shows of this year for sure in terms of writing. It's just a great story, and you're trying to figure out who the killer is through each episode leading up until the very end, the final episode, which is really, really well done too.
Yeah, it's really a testament to the writing of Brad Inglesby and the direction of Craig Zobel and crafting this nicely. The cinematography is beautiful, the way they shot it, the way the story evolves over the 7 episodes. I feel like the length of each episode being around 1 hour, some going a little over, and having it spread out over 7 episodes was a great pace for the show. Each episode always ended with you wanting to keep on going. You never wanted to stop and just, pick up tomorrow. You always couldn't wait to get back to the next episode because it always left something dangling at the end of the episode, like the next clue closer to figuring out what's going on with all these intricate stories, not only the main cases, but what's going on in the personal lives of Mare and everybody else. So just, phenomenal writing. The tone of this show reminded me a lot of sort of the Dennis Lehane novels, such as Mystic River, Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah,
it had
Gone
that
Baby
sort
Gone.
of feel where it's the story's deeply tied into the town that it's in, which is Easttown, Philadelphia. So you really get a flavor of the town. It's shot very darkly. And another show that this reminded me of a lot was True Detective, obviously with Mare and Detective Zabel, played by Evan Peters. Just being detectives. If they would have called this True Detective season 4, you would have loved it just as much. This would have been one of the strongest seasons, probably the second best season, right up there with the McConaughey, Woody Harrelson season as far as quality. It's just really great. Just sucks you in from the beginning all the way up into the end. It deals with so much trauma, family dynamics that a lot of shows, just they touch the surface, but they don't really dive in. And this show really dove in, and it can be very heavy at times for sure.
Yeah, Brad Inglesby was talking about why he wrote this. This is kind of a love letter. He grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania. You don't see a lot of shows or movies really diving into towns like this on the East Coast, especially dealing with the opioid crisis and trauma and just everything that goes on in this series. So it's really fantastic, and it's really personal to him, and you can really see that in the 7 episodes. You see what happens to Kate Winslet's character, Mare, and all the people she comes across and people she really can't trust.
I love the dynamic between Mare and Zabel, played by Evan Peters. I thought they worked very well off of each other, each at different points in their life. Obviously, Kate Winslet being the older, wiser detective, and then Evan Peters coming in as the young detective who's worked some cases but is still pretty green. Being a detective, she's sort of showing him the way moving forward, how he can base his career and obviously improve. And some things that he wasn't looking for during this case that she's able to see kind of opens his eyes into seeing what he needs to do when he's on the case, and seeing how he needs to look at every single detail, not only just rely on other people to do a quick search of the premises. But there's one scene in particular with the bullet fragment where she's basically, Mare's out there at night with her flashlight looking all around for a bullet fragment in case there was a ricochet. Everybody else has left. They've already done the search. They've given up on it, but she doesn't give up, and she's able to find a clue that everybody missed besides her. So that shows Zabel that she's serious and how good of a detective she is. Another thing about this show, not only is Kate Winslet phenomenal and definitely will be nominated for an Emmy for this performance.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I can pretty much guarantee she's going to win for this. This feels like a lock, like Anna Taylor-Joy was for Queen's Gambit last year. I think that she's definitely going to win Best Actress for this performance. It's just phenomenal what she's able to do.
She's also a producer on this as well.
She's also producing it as well.
Or
Okay,
executive producer. Yeah, I saw it credits. So Kate Winslet's up in her game here. You're seeing a lot of like big name actors step behind the camera, producing, directing, whatever. So this is maybe her passion project, and she deserves an Emmy for this. Absolutely one of the best performances of the year.
For sure. And the whole show wouldn't be as strong if it didn't have just as strong of a supporting cast. Everybody in their roles were just phenomenal. There wasn't a weak link in the show that I thought anyway. Everybody seemed very authentic to the town. from I guess the deacon there. He was phenomenal. I believed him being a deacon and kind of dealing with some issues there, obviously with the
Yeah.
church and going through all his demons that he has. You had the mother played by Jean Smart, who I thought was great in
Oh,
this. She could get a supporting nod for this for sure.
oh yeah. She's so
She
good.
lives with Mare. Mare lives with her at home. She helps out, obviously raising DJ there, the kid of her son who committed suicide, helping to raise him and just keep the family together. There's another actress who played the character of Shaban, Mare's daughter, who's a teenager. I think she is bisexual in the show. She has a band where she sings.
Yeah.
It also follows her character a lot in the show and sort of reflects how her life was rattled by her brother's suicide and about what her mom's life is like now, dealing with this case and not ever getting closure with her son.
Yeah, at least out of that, the suicide of her son, they formed a relationship, I guess. Her
Right.
Shaban and the mom and the dad too. It seems like they were all going through a lot of shit, obviously together, but it probably made them stronger getting through that process.
Absolutely. They definitely lean on each other, the family there. While they do have issues, people arguing and other things going on just in their lives in general, they're able to come together during the times in the show where, obviously the emotions are high and things are going on. So yeah, really love the cast all around.
Yeah.
Everything in the show really worked for me.
Yeah, you're talking about Evan Peters. I got to give this guy kudos. He's such a great actor. He does so many different roles. He's usually like the quirky or sinister character in American Horror Story, Ryan Murphy. But this time he's playing a detective and he really knocked it out of the park. Wasn't funny at all. He was in WandaVision, obviously, Quicksilver. Yeah. So he can do a lot of different roles. So I was very impressed with him in this season, and not so impressed with what happens to his character. But that was episode 5. That's probably one of the better episodes of the season. Episode 5, it was like really intense, like edge of your seat, having to do with these girls that were kidnapped and tracking down the person doing it, and it was just really intense. But yeah, giving credit to Evan Peters, he's really good. He's growing on me more and more as he gets older. He's picking better roles, and you can see he's showing his true acting chops. He's getting way better.
It's great to see him grow as an actor. I saw that he's going to be portraying Jeffrey Dahmer in an upcoming Netflix series, which I'm stoked about. I've always wanted to see that story. And I think Netflix and him working with Ryan Murphy on that, it's going to be a great series. And he looks great in the role. He looks just like young Jeffrey Dahmer there.
Yeah,
we remember that case growing up when we were kids, living not too far from where it took place in Wisconsin there.
Wisconsin, growing up in Illinois. I just remember all the jokes, the Jeffrey Dahmer jokes in school. And there's a lot of characters introduced in the series without giving too much away. This is a show we want you guys to check out. Not know too much, maybe check out a trailer. Go in and get hooked on it as much as we did. Love it as much as we did. Really phenomenal series. Everybody was talking about it. Now I see what they were talking about watching the 7 episodes. Really grabbed me and never let me go. Really great storytelling, directing, the writing, one of the best writing of the year for sure. And seeing Kate Winslet grow as an actress, and that you can see this is her passion project. She really put everything into it, including the supporting cast and all the twists and turns and the whodunit, who's the killer, trying to figure it out, leaving you on the edge of your seat, at the end of each episode, leading up until the end. And finally, Kate Winslet's character getting closure of everything that's happened to her, even with these cases, and maybe taking a break. And hopefully lead into another season, because I would totally be on board with this for another season. But I had a really great time with this. Mare of Easttown, didn't really know too much about it, went in not knowing much, and had a great time. And it's a show I highly recommend. So with that being said, I'm going to give Mare of Easttown a 4.5 out of 5 Kate Winslet hair pieces.
I also had a great time with the Mare of Easttown, hearing all the buzz about it. I had to check it out for myself, and I'm so glad that I did. This was a great, fantastic HBO Max original series. HBO Max has really been bringing it. They've had some really phenomenal series that have gone directly to the streaming service. This will help boost up viewership, getting people to subscribe. I loved everything about it. I love these kind of stories with detective work and murder mysteries. And honestly, this was a nice dive into the personal psyche of Kate Winslet's character, Mare, just dealing with everything, all the trauma. The final episode left me very emotional. So, that's,
Yeah.
when it makes you feel something when it ends, then, you watch something really great. So I am going to give The Mare of Easttown a 4.5 out of 5 Detective Colin Zabel hairpieces. You guys should definitely check out this show. It is great. So let us know when you guys check out the show. We want to hear from you guys as well about it.
Yeah, let us know what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, and maybe hoping for another season because we're definitely on board with that, invested. So hopefully they bring it back. But let us know in the comments below what you think, and don't forget to hit
subscribe.
Besides that, we got some more great videos coming up very soon. We're going to be talking about Bad Batch. We have a Fellas podcast for the entire crew this weekend. We have a Fellas giveaway and more TV movie reviews coming very soon. Also, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and over on our website, Cinephellas.com. So that being said, it's your two favorite serial killers signing out until the next TV review. Cheers!
Cheers!